Hey, what's up, everybody? BDO44 coming at you another video. All right, so the Los Angeles Lakers have a game this evening, 7:30, against the Utah Jazz at Crypto.com Arena. And I just did a little bit of homework on the Utah Jazz. Uh, just looking at their situation, they just won 3 of their last 5 games. They did drop their last one, but the 2 games before that, they had a back-to-back against Memphis and won both of them. So we need to understand exactly how good this team is. They're 6-2, I believe it is, and wins are piling up for them. And they are pretty dang healthy. They're only missing a couple of role players on the back of the bench. Balmero, I believe is his name, and I don't remember the other guy's name, but they're role players that are not in rotation. So they're going to be fully healthy tonight. AD and Bron is day-to-day, so we expect to see them tonight. If anything changes, we'll just be ready for it, but they should be good to go. Of course, we're still missing Bryant and Schroeder with the fingers. They should be reevaluated later on this week or something like that. And everybody else, from what I understand, is a good to go. So of course we got Russell coming off the bench, which has been a stellar success for us. Absolute stellar success. What I've been most impressed with in regards to Russell is just his rhythm driving at the basket. The same layups he was missing left and right are the same layups he's connecting on just about every time. He's making passes. Him and Troy Brown have found a synergy that looks fantastic to me. So we need to continue to use those guys. And just ultimately what Troy Brown has brought to the table is just been a breath of fresh air, giving us a double-double in the last game, 15 points, 10 rebounds. We need that rebound to come from him every night. And I know that's not necessarily his game to be a double-double threat every single night. But where the Lakers have really been hurting, in which I think is a controllable area, is the rebounding. We could get better at rebounding. AD's been rebounding like crazy lately, giving us about 14 in the previous, 16 I think it was in the previous game, 14 in the game before that, I think. So he's been rebounding really, really well for us. And we just need to continue to find that synergy on the glass, continue to put the effort out there and do that. We were getting a lot of offensive rebounds from other guys too. You gotta love how Russ rebounds the ball just in general. Think about a specific offensive rebound that Austin Reeves had when Bron had missed a shot. Again, Troy Brown had a fantastic offensive board. So I just want to see us clean glass all night long against a Utah Jazz team that doesn't have the most physical bigs. Now, what they do have is a backcourt that both stretches the floor like crazy. So defending them is going to be very difficult. AD and all of our bigs who are going to be on the floor must be ready to guard the perimeter. Switching and all of that stuff is going to be very important matchups and the like. Mike Conley, Colin Sexton, Jordan Clarkson, they're all playing phenomenally well together right now, interchangeably for one another. So guard play is super essential, and shooting the ball, defending the perimeter is super essential against the Utah Jazz. If you don't, you lose. There is no two ways about it. Kelly Olynyk and Lauri Markkanen are two of the best shooters playing the center and power forward position together in the starting lineup right now. And they're going to look to score the ball, man. I don't know that they're defenders like that, although I've seen some good things out of Lauri Markkanen lately. A weak side block that I saw in the previous game that really made my eyes open. And that's what I like about Lauri. He's a very positionless guy. You can play him at the 4, you can play him at the 3, you can play him at the 5, and he's going to stretch the floor for you, and he's going to play some defense. So, for me, I'm just really a fan of what Danny Ainge has put together here with this Utah Jazz team. It's a dang shame that they're not really trying to win because they've stumbled upon something. You got a bunch of players who have been looking for big roles in their careers, and they're all getting those roles right now. Colin Sexton, Markkanen, Olynyk, those guys have been itching for an opportunity like this. And Jordan Clarkson's now in a situation where he has a team that doesn't have an anchor like Rudy Gobert slowing down the pace in the paint. More fitting for him. A guy like Mike Conley has more players to pass to. He's accumulating more assists. Fits better on this roster than last year's team. Jordan Clarkson, his assist totals is really what's stepping up. We know he could score. He's been able to score like this since he was a rookie. But now he's rebounding the ball. Now he's getting defensive. Now he's putting up the assist numbers. I think Jordan Clarkson has a fantastic chance of winning the Sixth Man of the Year award. Depending on if they're using him off the bench or not, I'm not sure. But he is playing close to, if not all-star basketball right now for a winning basketball club. that's beating impressive teams. So I don't know what Danny Ainge is going to do. If you guys have been following me, you know I've been saying he needs to make a trade or something to try to get a little worse to keep Wembanyama in his eyesight. But right now, I just honestly think his team is going to just continue to push in the right direction. And the unit, I think, is for real. You know, I don't think it would be the worst thing in the world to invest in this roster and try to see if this team can do some winning because you know, Utah doesn't have to necessarily miss the playoffs with this unit if they make a trade or two, and they got plenty of assets to do it. Obviously, they got assets to bring them a championship caliber boost if they really want to do it. Like, if, for example, if say KD calls for a trade demand, yeah, the Utah Jazz could totally make a very, very competitive offer for him. So I know that's not the direction they would look to go in, but it is the options that they have, and they're a very healthy franchise right now. Now, we got to get talking to the Lakers. I've given Utah Jazz plenty of conversation. The Los Angeles Lakers are a team, obviously, that have won 2 straight. We've had some turmoil to start the season, but just like a healthy stock that starts the day in the red, it's recovering very well and very fast. We've figured out a 3-point balance for ourselves, or at least I think we're getting closer to finding exactly who we want to be shooting the ball. I think we attempted somewhere around 36, I think, but shot a very good percentage. We would like to keep it under 30, depending on how we're shooting. Now, if we're hot, we're hot. But if we're shooting in the 20% like we normally do, like we did in the last game, attempting over 30 is too much for us. But, you know, we want to make sure we give them a nice amount of attempts because we don't want to take on the punishment that comes with only shooting the 2. Way too much punishment. Obviously, you need the spacing. So that's really what it is. I want to see Austin Reeves continue to be aggressive from behind the arc because it's been falling. Same with Troy Brown. It's been falling. Russell Westbrook, I don't think he should be hesitant. And I know I'm asking for trouble when I utter those words. But now that he's found his rhythm, now that he's found his confidence, I don't think he should take steps backwards in his belief in what he's doing. I would rather him make mistakes with him working within the rhythm that he's been doing, because I think it's catered to him to be himself. So if he makes those mistakes, it's not like he's prone to continue making those mistakes regularly like last year when the fit was awful and the mistakes came regularly. I think with the team he's out on the floor with, he's more likely to have the ball go to successful places rather than him dribbling the ball off his foot or having to settle into an out of rhythm shot that he's not sure about. I think he's going to be in more structured situations to where he'll know what to do when it's time to do those things, as opposed to just having to make the choice himself. So I think that was a difference of what we were doing last year. It was a lot of freelance offense, a lot of standing around, create for yourself. That wasn't what Russell needed. He needed some type of structure to tell him how to get the ball out of his hands when certain things go wrong for him. Once it's time to do certain things, defense collapse on him. Sometimes he gets a little discombobulated when he doesn't have proper structure and direction of what to do. So that's what I think Darvin Ham has provided him. Go-to players, what to do, and just things that help give him direction when he gets in trouble. That's what I saw he was having a lot of trouble with last year, and we need to focus on that here this year. So LeBron James, much has been said about him not playing well, but not enough has been said about him not feeling well. And he did say that he was bedridden up until the last game. He had been very sick. So I'm just taking that at what he says and leave it at that. I do believe that there might have been some other stuff going on, but I'm just a speculator. That's just what my brain does. But I just felt like his spirit was off. His mind, his body, and his soul hasn't been focused on what he needs to do to be an asset to his team for 48 minutes straight. He plays basketball at a high level, but I don't think that he's loving what he's doing right now. I think he feels a bit defeated, and I think he needs to recalibrate and come back around and see that the people around him believe in what they're doing. So it's all that's left to do is for him to. You know what I mean? When you're the last person not believing and you're the GOAT player, at some point in time you gotta look in the mirror and say, man, why not? Why not? Yeah, this situation ain't gonna end with a championship. Yeah, it ain't gonna end with me feeling this, that. Yeah, we may have to break the team up. Yeah, all this is bad, but let's just stop and realize we're alive and we can play basketball for a living at a high level still. Let's just go out there and do it. You know what I mean? That's what I think LeBron James needs to do. Just go out there and do it, bro. Everybody got something to say, including me. But at the end of the day, none of us can do what you do. So go out there and lace up your bootstraps and beat LeBron James. You know what I mean? There's a lot going on around, a lot of stuff pointing your direction, a lot of people telling you that you're not enough, that you can't celebrate your own personal goals, that you're not doing this and that and the third. And at the end of the day, if I were on the inside of that locker room with LeBron James, I would just say, the only way these people are going to shut up is if you lace up your bootstraps and shut them up. That's it. Ain't nothing else going to make the Laker Nation feel good about what it is they're seeing. But LeBron James taking the steps to be better. And it starts with him shooting less three-point shots that are empty. I don't mind him taking three-point shots. And I respect greatly that one of the pundits said that one of the reasons he likes to shoot the three ball is because he loves to be able to backpedal off of that three-point shot. It allows him to easily recover on defense and allows him to have very, very little motions and muscling getting back down the court. It keeps him fresh. And I respect, understand, and will keep that as a tea leaf from here on out. But at the end of the day, he's going to have to make it up some other way. When you're a genius like LeBron James, you make the math up in a different way. For every backpedal you can't do, you take it out of your minutes. You take it out of your playing time. That's how you make up the difference in regards to those three-point shots that he wants to backpedal. You simply be off the floor more. And you turn around and you run. And you run a play instead of giving us that three-point shot that's going to make it easier for you to backpedal. No, you run a play for others. That's all you do. You run a play for others and then step back for the cherry pick. If it turns into a transition situation, you can still backpedal. We can still straighten it out so it makes sense for you to backpedal to a certain point so you can be in position to get defense and get over the line to play the offense. There's ways to do what it is that you want to do, but we got to find more intelligent and effective ways to get what we're getting done without throwing possessions away. There is always a way, especially when you're intelligent as LeBron James. There's another way. And that's what I would tell him. I'm like, nah, don't give yourself no outs, bro. We smart here. So if we can't backpedal on these next several plays, then we take it out of our playing time and do what we need to do to run plays so that we still have less inertia coming out of our bodies when those plays are run. Maybe we get more passing plays in those situations. Instead of running down, jacking up a three, you get the ball straight to a playmaker, have him pass it around a couple other times, couples cuts by other people. You can stand in one spot while all of this is happening. Maybe float around the perimeter, relocate, still the same amount of inertia coming out of your body. They ain't got to worry about doing all the running, turning, jumping, landing. If that's what it is that we're trying to eliminate or limit, to limit, if that's what we're trying to limit, then there's another way to make it up mathematically. That's what I want to see the Lakers do. Get smart in math. Get smart. Because the math is going to help us, man. The analytics is going to help us. If that's what we're trying to do and conserve energy, make it up in other ways. You know what I mean? Make it up in other ways. Find ways of strategizing a defense to make it make sense so that we're shooting long threes and rebounding those threes, and he can backpedal if necessary or whatever. We can find ways of just making it all come together and making sense. You got to sit down and just do it. Sit down and make it make sense. You know what I'm saying? So that's why I don't give a lot of outs to what I see out there, because I think the people who are behind the scenes are more than capable of figuring out whatever the math needs to be. Whatever's not there, they can put it there. Whatever is there, you know what I'm saying? I look at these people like that are intelligent, especially LeBron James. So, yeah, no, I don't think there's any reason for him to do things that don't help the team because he's trying to save his energy. You can find another way to save your energy. So, what else we want to talk about? It's so much good, you know. Wenyen Gabriel getting regular minutes is a blessing for our team. We got to keep that up. I just think we're a better team when we play him. And a good, healthy dose of him and Troy Brown interchangeably for whatever it is that we're trying to do. You know what I mean? Because those two players interchangeably slot into anything that one another would be a part of, in my opinion. They both play defense. Now, I know Wenyen ain't shooting a three like that, but I've seen him hit the three as well. I've seen it fall. So I know he ain't hitting it, but I've seen it fall. So it's one of them situations where it's like, I do believe you can get away with playing them. I like Juan Toscano Anderson too. I do. I love what he does on the defensive end. It's just my thing with Juan has nothing to do with him. It more to do with, can he stay healthy with the style of play that he plays? We send him out there and he gets banged up immediately. Like, that's what I'm noticing about the guy. Like, he'd go out there and it'd take about 3 plays for him to get hurt. So that's what it's going to be, the balance for him and a guy like Thomas Bryant, and to a lesser degree, Austin Reeves. They tend to throw their body around to their own detriment. And this is a marathon. You go all out and break your leg in game 3 of the season, we lose you for the rest of the game. So guys just got to keep themselves fresh and find the balance between that and going after 50 balls and doing all the stuff that ultimately can get you hurt. We just got to find a balance. So we didn't see Kendrick Nunn in the last game. I think that was the logical way to play it, given how bad he's been. But I do want us to continue to work with him in practice, because I don't actually think we can win as much as we're going to need to if we don't have his piece playing at a good level. We need him to either be playing well for us or slotted high in terms of his value, so we can trade him for what we need to trade him for. So I don't want us to let Kendrick Nunn just sit and rot because he's struggling, because his value needs to be raised. We need him to be better. So that's something I want to talk about. Damian Jones, I'm of the mindset that I understood why the Lakers waived Jay Huff, because Jay Huff just didn't have enough athleticism to ever help us on the perimeter. But I do think Jay Huff was slightly more talented than Damian Jones, if not just more talented. I think it's one of those situations where it's like, I get we picked up Damian Jones. When I saw Damian Jones play against the Sacramento Kings, I said we should have brought him back, because he was once a Laker. And when he was a Laker, when he was a youngster, I don't remember him being this limited. I think he just was a bit more lighter in his pocket. He was a younger player, and I think his game just fit a little better, because it was several years back. It wasn't as many stretch bigs. The game was still changed. It's not as many talented players his size as they are right now. So you can kind of get away with him catching lobs, blocking shots weak side, and then, catch a couple rebounds, and that'll be it. But now, with what our needs are and the way the league is set up, we need him to take on much more talented defensive assignments. We need him to be much more versatile in what it is that he's able to do for us. So I think it's just a matter of this particular player's style just doesn't really fit the league. You need to be more versatile than him in order to really make an impact in today's league. So I just don't know if the Lakers really benefit from having this roster spot not be open at this point. I think we'd probably be better if we do something there, because every time we throw him out there, it's a bad thing. I would love to say better things, but that's just what the evidence is showing us. So, that's all there is to it, man. I'm not a great basketball player either, so if you send me out there, I would tell you to sit me down too. But at the end of the day, we're just trying to win, and we're a limited basketball club. And when you look at why, he's why. One of many reasons why, of course. But what can I say? He's one of the main reasons. It's him, Kendrick Nunn, and Russell when he's not playing well. LeBron shooting bad threes. It's a lot of things that come together to make us not a good basketball club. But Damian Jones being there and not being better, with us needing him to be better, is a big, huge problem. And I want Rob Pelinka to try his very best to get us a very, very serviceable center in his stead very, very soon. That should be one of the first orders of business. Even though I know he's not the most tradable player, you got to revamp that center position, and I think it doesn't take 2 picks and Russell Westbrook's contract to do that. So I don't think there's any excuse other than you need certain pieces to make other moves. There shouldn't be any other excuse for why smaller moves have not been made to make this team better. And that's what I want to say. I think Rob Pelinka can get us a little move to make us feel better about this team. I don't think it would kill us to replace Damian Jones with a Mo Harkless or something. I don't know. Obviously, that's probably not best for size, but it's the type of thing I'm talking about. We just need to get a different piece in place for the pieces that can't give us what we need. So that's Rob's job, man. Bron's counting him to do it. Jeannie's counting him to do it. I'm counting on him to do it. This doesn't require you giving away everything. This just requires you doing a small transaction that requires maybe a second-round pick and Damian Jones, and getting us a player that's a little bit better than Damian Jones. That's it. A little move like that will go a long way in making the Laker Nation feel great about Rob Pelinka. I promise you that. So, I'm looking around and I say, okay, we're going up against the Utah Jazz at home tonight at 7:30. If we're going to beat this team, guarding the perimeter is important, and keeping an eye on those little 3 guards that they got is very important. Jordan Clarkson, Conley, and Sexton. Those are killers, all 3 of them. If you don't know about Young Bull, you better go back and look at some of them old Cleveland tapes. That's a dude who can drop 30 on you and lock you up when he's fully conditioned. Now, he's not fully conditioned just yet, but every passing game, he gets closer and closer to being Young Bull. And when he gets at his full, conditioning, when he gets back into his full bag, that's a killer. That's a scorer. That's somebody who's going to put a lot of points on the board in his career. And he plays fiery defense. Very fiery. And you look at Jordan Clarkson, like I said, he's playing like an all-star. Basically in his prime. We know JC. That's our rook. We had him for what, 5 years, 4 years. Um, and if I'm not mistaken, he's playing for a contract. Don't quote me on that. I don't know if he's expiring or not, but that is definitely somebody who we know is going to try to come at us, and he's playing at a high level. So if we don't focus what we're doing on stopping him, Lauri Markkanen, Mike Conley and the assists that he's going to be getting, Olynyk and his shooting, Beasley, Malik Beasley. Yeah, you got to know that Malik Beasley is on the Utah Jazz, ready to shoot threes. He can light up 4, 5, 6 of them, no problem. That is a shooter. And because of it, the perimeter must be guarded. If you don't manage the perimeter well on both sides of the floor in terms of you shooting it well and the right way and guarding it well in the right way, we're going to be embarrassed by a team that we should not lose to at home. And we're on a 2-game winning streak, so I expect us to bring it to them. They should not have the personnel to stop Russell Westbrook when he's driving at the rim in that second unit. They don't have the personnel. They're going to put Mike Conley on him, Clarkson, all those guys getting run over. So I like this matchup for Russie. If his confidence is where it needs to be and we're running the structure that we did these last 2 games, he's going to catch them off guard in that second unit just like the last 2 teams did. And I think that dynamic, now that we have that in place, it makes us extremely dangerous. Because you're dealing with Anthony Davis and LeBron James and now Lonnie Walker, who's scoring the ball like crazy for us, just like Malik Monk did. You got to deal with those 3 scorers in the starting lineup. When those guys sit down, you bring in your scrubs or your second unit or whatever it is, you got to deal with a confident Russell Westbrook who's rested, healthy, strong, and looking to do things that fit his strengths comfortably, just like I said earlier. That dynamic is going to be very difficult to deal with because Russell Westbrook comes at you with a lot more energy than most people on second units are ready to defend. You don't get guys coming off the bench that dang strong, that dang fast, because it's not supposed to happen. A guy that fast and that strong is a starter every day. He just so happens to be struggling, and so it makes it so that his dynamic is now fitting for us to bring off the bench, but that is not a dynamic the rest of the league has. You don't have nobody coming off your bench doing nothing like that, being that strong, being that much of a threat, coming at you with force at the rim constantly, and then using a big body to put on your big body, since that's what we've been doing since Darvin's been using him, for which I love. We tried him on Zion, got stops, and I could not believe what I was seeing, but he slowed Zion down. He's a very difficult person to stop when he's standing upright, even if you're a heavy person leaning on him, and that is something that Darvin Ham found, and I think we need to continue to go to it. Russell can stand up against strong people. He's a strong person with super genetics. So the fact that we're using that, I just think is the brilliance of Darvin Ham. I love it. So that's why I think we're going to have a good chance of beating the Utah Jazz, because even if they come out to a good start, which I think is hard to do against AD and Bron, now they got to deal with a confident Russell Westbrook and a bench unit that's confident around him. I think that dynamic is going to snatch teams' heart a lot of the time, and if they don't snatch their heart, it's going to eat into whatever their score is. If they're up, it's coming down. If they're down, it's going further. So it's one of them situations where it's like, I thought that dynamic would hurt the New Orleans Pelicans, and I was right. And I think that dynamic is going to hurt the Utah Jazz tonight. So watch when Russell Westbrook comes in the game. If he's confident and not having any issues, that's going to hurt Utah bad. They're going to be feeling that. So I just hope he continues to keep that confidence, continues to keep in rhythm, and understand that his team, we look at him as an asset. Look at how I'm speaking about him. This is somebody that I think is going to be the difference between winning and losing now, because of how he's coming off the bench, because of the way that he's attacking, because of the confidence that he's using in every play, and because we're helping him by putting him in positions to not have to make decisions when he gets in trouble. That is all perfect ways of doing the things that we're doing here with Russell. And I also like the idea that we took him off the floor when he started to struggle in the last game. We must manage his plus minus. You know, if he starts to go into situations where his confidence is going and it's not working, we do have to move him off the floor. And we're gonna, you know, I think the reason you do that is to keep his value high, so that we don't have any issues with not only his value but his confidence. You know what I mean? Mistakes beget more mistakes with him. So as long as you keep the mistakes out of his midst, and give him the help he needs, he's gonna be like this, and that's what we love to see. So of course we reached the Kobe minute, although I still have more to say, but I just want to acknowledge our guy, Kobe Bryant. We love you, man. This is one of those situations where we get in here and beat this Utah Jazz team that probably doesn't really want to win anyway as an organization. We're on a 3rd straight win third straight win after losing 5 straight games. That is impressive. But I'm not really worried about wins and losses. It's more so about the details of what we're doing in our stats. Are we keeping our threes down? Are we winning the rebounding total? Are we hitting our free throws? Are we shooting a good field goal percentage? Are we keeping our turnovers down? The last game we had, I believe, I'm getting them mixed up, but I think we had 18 turnovers in the last game, and then had 9 in the game before that. I think that's how that went. So we've got to find some consistency with turning the ball over, or lack thereof. We need to not. We're a better team when we don't do it. The Utah Jazz, as far as their defense is concerned, I just think key players on that team could be defensive-minded. OG Abaji is a young rookie that they got in the lottery that they got from Cleveland in the trade that they made to get Rudy Gobert out of there. I don't know that they're going to use him at all, but I do believe he's a specialized defensive player who can shoot the 3 ball. So he's a high-level lottery pick that they're just not using just yet. But I'm sure they will use him at some point. And since they're at the Lakers building, I got a feeling they're probably going to call his number just to feature him here. Also, Walker Kessler, he's back from injury. That's another high-level rookie. Specializes in 3-point shots and block shots from the center position. Another stretch 5. The perimeter is essential against this team. Walker Kessler. Do not test him. He's one of them dudes that block shots for fun. It's what he does. And we need to know that. The center of the Utah Jazz coming off the bench, Walker Kessler. I said his name, 3-4 times? I don't know that he's going to play well because, like I said, he's coming off injury. But when his conditioning gets to where it needs to be and he develops in what he needs to be, that's one of the best shot blockers in basketball. So this is day 1 for yet another high-level rookie, and we're not going to be caught off guard by them. Just like a lot of these young teams that we know are tanking, they have high-level babies, basically. They're just infants right now, but they're very, very high level. Abaji, Kessler, I think those are the only 2 that come to mind for the Utah Jazz. They may have another rookie, but those are the 2, Abaji and Kessler. Just treat them like you know they're going to be something tomorrow when they get on the floor now. Very simple. If you get ready, you ain't got to stay ready. I never want us to get caught off guard by a high-level rookie. We know what they're going to be. We know they're supposed to be. So if they happen to be that, we should be ready for it. So that's what I got to say, man. That's where I'm at. I think the Utah Jazz are a very, very talented basketball team. On paper, I think we match up okay with them so long as we manage the 3 very well. They should not have any answer for us scoring on the interior, and we're a good interior scoring team. So we just got to take it to them. AD, score on the inside. LeBron, drive at the rim. Walker, drive at the rim. Rebound the ball, everybody. Austin Reeves, we need everybody to rebound the ball tonight. And if we can cut down on them turnovers, rebound the ball well, and be happy with our perimeter management on both sides of the floor, Utah's going to take a loss tonight. Simple as that. They're going to take a loss. They're a talented team, but at the end of the day, they're running into a bigger team than them. We're bigger. And that's what it really comes down to. AD, Braun, Brown, Wenyen. We give ourselves a good, healthy dose of these players. We should be able to put pressure on those shooters, and hopefully their legs can go. You know, that's what I look at. You got guys like Olynyk, Markkanen, Kessler. They want to shoot the tray. You make them work on the offensive end. You make their legs kick a lot more than they want to. You make them legs squat a lot more than they want to. You make them lean a lot more than they want to. And when they shoot them threes, they're gonna fall short. That's what we need. Shooters with tired legs coming up against us. Run them boys crazy if we have the opportunity to. That's what I say, man. Test them shooters' legs. Make them run. So that's what I got to say. That's where I'm at, man. I know Utah's playing well. And I'm not looking at this team as somebody that we just gonna roll over just because we won 2 straight. This is a team that can beat us if we play well. So we gotta play well. We gotta guard the perimeter. So that's what I gotta say, man. Excited about this game. We got to play the Utah Jazz twice over the next 3 games. So be ready to see them again later on this week. And let's draw blood first, man. That's what I say. Let's draw blood first. We're not gonna be caught off guard by them. We know who they are. We also know what they want, which is a loss. So let's give them that. My name is BDL44. I thank you all for watching.